Is the market in a giant bubble? Hey everyone, welcome to the live show. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get going again. Don't forget the risk. Traders lose money. They often lose money. And if you don't like losing money, you probably shouldn't be trading, which I'm going to talk about today because I actually got a comment on a person or from a person that had decided trading was enough for them, which is interesting. It's very interesting. I think today we are going to go and do the 5-minute challenge. We're going to have a bit of fun with that. But for the time being, let's just get started with our normal charting and our normal program and our normal funded account, which we normally trade together on. And let's talk about how that's going. We've had a few hiccups. We lost the Aussie dollar CAD last week, full loss. So it's been a bit of a tricky start to the month. But I do believe we'll get that back. And then this CHF JPY has also been giving us a bit of a headache, as you can see. It was doing all right, and it went all the way up here, and it's come all the way back down. It just seems to be lulling around on this support. But I'm actually quite glad we're in that trade. This trailing stop went all the way up. I actually pulled it back down again because I didn't want it to get taken out. Right, US 500. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about the US 500. As it's gone crashing down as expected. I've been waiting for this. I'm waiting for it on Bitcoin as well. I got to tell you guys, I've been waiting for that one for a long time. Hey Shane, hey Carl. Good morning, Robin, everyone. NT, how's it? Good to have you guys on board. Let's get going. Let's talk trading. Let's have a bit of fun. I think today, before we get going on all the chatting, we should actually go and choose a trade on the 5-minute charts that we think will work for us. And as we all know, that's the demo account. This is the real account. Let's go to the demo account. Let's go and play a bit. Let's go and put a 5-minute chart trade on just for a wee bit of fun. And let's go and see what happens if we do that. So I'm just going to put that there so we can go and do that. I am going to need to just move things around a little bit here so that I can get to it. So just bear with me here, guys. Bear with me for a second as I go to the news. Here's the news, guys. Stagflation worries, inflation worries. These are all stories. You know, people always ask me, hey, Rob, do you trade on the news? Do you follow the news? You know what, guys? I used to hang my hat on the news. I don't do it anymore. All this is just going to drive you insane. It's gonna create unnecessary volatility, which you really don't need in the markets. And stocks are going to go down for a while. They're going to give entries, which are great for the investments. On the investment side, it's just so good to have those entries available to you now at much lower prices to get in. Even the S&P 500, when it comes down, I'm really looking forward to getting a good entry in there in Bitcoin as well. So I'm hoping we can get something going there. I did open this on the DAX, but there's no trade here at the moment for the 5-minute. So I'm just looking for a 5-minute trade. If there's a 5-minute trade that we can take, there's nothing there at the moment. The Dow Jones, nothing there. The Nikkei, nothing there at the moment. Let's have a look at the Forex. Euro, US dollar, nothing at the moment. Great British Pound, US dollar. No. US dollar, Japanese yen, no. At least I don't see anything straight off the bat. Euro, Japanese yen, no. ZAR, no. Euro, Great British Pound. I'm going to have to wait for it to come all the way back down to here. I don't want to sit looking at this. US dollar CAD, Australian dollar, US dollar, Great British Pound, JPY. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin, nothing there either. Okay, so look, it's nothing to trade at the moment, even on the 5-minute charts. Can you imagine 5-minute charts we're looking for something to trade? All right, no problem. We'll come back to that. We'll come and have a look at it a little bit later. Let's get back to our normal stuff, and we'll come back to that. I just thought we'd look for a trade while we're here, just have a little bit of fun. Hang on a minute. I just need to sort something out here. Some other reason this guy wants to, you know, sometimes just finding these pages can be a bit of a pain. There we go. We're back on our normal charts where we want to be. Let me just move that out of the way. Right, so now we can see what trades are there. All right. Okay, back on our normal trading. We didn't find a 5-minute trade right away. Nothing exciting. Did you say Euro CAD on the 5 minutes? I'll just quickly have a look. Boom, 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 boom. Euro CAD 5 minutes. Euro CAD. You see, that's why it wasn't even here. So I'm literally going to have to do a search for it. See, Euro CAD. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as the others, I suppose. It's not really giving me much an option, the Euro CAD. The Euro CAD's a bit off as well. No, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Let me just... if I can somehow add it. Okay, no, that's nothing there. So I'm just going to go back to the normal stuff, and we'll come back to that later. EuroCAD's a bit off as well. Okay. Hi, Luigi. Wait for its pullback, and then go long. Yeah, there's a few of those. We'll look for something just now. We'll pick up something in a bit. I don't want to sit watching that. Right, let's talk about something interesting. This morning I got a comment from a guy who said, and I mentioned it on the members video. Some of you are on the members group, who said that he'd had enough. He had lost 5,000 on crypto. Coffee with Rob, eh? Said he'd lost his 5,000 on crypto and it had a bad run, and it wasn't working out for him. And he decided that enough's enough. He's still got $10,000 left, and he's going to be on his way. And most of the way, he mentioned technical analysis was the big issue here. The technical analysis didn't work out. Can't understand how Bitcoin is dropping from 110,000 down to 70,000. Well, at the moment, it's at 80,000. It's going into the 70s, though, which is what I wanted it to do. But that's what technical analysis does. And what I've figured out is that 99% of people, most people, just don't understand that you're not trading squiggly lines, that you're not trading technical analysis. All the technical analysis is doing for you is giving you a high probability trade. It's giving you the option to take a trade with a view to, because human beings are creatures of habit, it'll probably happen again. So that's what you're looking at with technical analysis. And that the main thing you've got to understand that you're looking for is you're trading with human beings. You're not trading with technical analysis. You're not trading with charts. You're not trading with little candles. That's just to give you guidance. What you're looking for with this guidance is liquidity in the markets. Now think about the pros. What are the pros constantly doing? What are you constantly blaming the pros for? You constantly blame them for hunting out your stop loss. You constantly blame them for hunting out your orders. You constantly blame them for looking for your liquidity, which is really at the end of the day quite meaningless to them. But okay, just hear me out. You are constantly blaming them for that. So don't you think that's what you should be doing? Looking for what they're looking for, because they seem to know what they're doing. So that's constantly what we're doing in the markets, is we're looking for liquidity. We're looking for areas where there might be some money lying around. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for these areas, these big areas where we believe that there's going to be money there, because every time that the price gets there, the price moves away. And what we're looking for is that big money, because at the end of the day, we're small, but they're big, and they're the ones moving the market. So they're taking that liquidity. What you're doing is you're riding on the horse's back, and you're riding with them. So you're looking for what they're doing. Once you understand that you're trading with human beings, and those human beings might be big institutions, they might be pro traders, whatever the case, but once you understand that we're basically trading on their back, and we're trading with human beings, then you start to pick up that you're not trading squiggly lines. You're looking for liquidity in the markets. You're looking for their areas of purchase and buy and sell. That's what you're looking for at the end of the day. These little squiggly lines, they just give you an idea where the market's going, what the possible next trade is, and where it might go in the future. But will it make you a winner? No, definitely not. You know what makes you a winner? It's you. You're the one that makes you a winner. Good morning, Eugene. It looks like Great British Pound, Euro, US dollar in the range of the 4 hour. I'm waiting to break down and continue. Let's see. There's not much to trade for the last. I'm watching only 5 instruments. Hi, Wendy. Hey, Rob. Happy to join in again. Want to make sure. Yeah, that's great, Wendy. I'm glad to see you on board. So, as I said a few moments ago, we're going to play around with that 5-minute thing again as well, just to play a game. I'm just looking for a trade to take. If any of you see anything that do trade on the 5 minutes, let me know. We'll go and take it, and we'll go and see how it plays out. So, just for fun. That's just for fun. This is more for real. So this CHF JPY has messed us around. It's been in serious profit. Now it's been in a bit of loss. Now I actually moved the trailing stop all the way back again because it had come up quite close and I didn't want it to get taken out. Gold M5 long. I'll have a look at gold quickly. You guys might not be able to see this, but I'll move it over there once I can see it. The gold is also not ready for it. It's not, no. Let me just check Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar looks like a possibility, so it's coming down into play. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take us back over there. Let me just get back to the technical side here. This is so complicated, but it's fun. What the hell? Let's have a bit of fun. I'm just going to take us over to, let me just make sure I'm not on there because it won't change over. You've got to, yeah, it plays around with me, this thing. Okay, that's not the one I'm looking for. Let's just take it over to the news, then we can go and play with it because it's on a web. All right, so this is the Euro US dollar. So what I'm thinking here is maybe we can pick something up in this area over here. So if it comes back down into there, we take a buy. Now, the reason I'm doing this, guys, the reason I'm doing this 5-minute thing for you guys is so you can see how volatile this situation is, how tricky it is to trade on the 5 minutes. I just want to see, because I don't know how this order is going to work, because I might not know this broker. So I just want to see, let's take a buy. The stop loss would be there, then the stop loss would be 1,000. That would be 180,000 units. Yeah, that's okay. That will work. That'll work. It'll be fine. So you can buy that straight up, 180,000 units. Right. Let's see if this red is going to come back down into that level there, and then it will give us a trade, won't it? And then we can take that trade. So no, it's not gold. So we're going to do Euro US dollar if it comes down into here and plays out, which is probably fair dinkum. Oh, no, don't go up now. Okay, Rob, if you could choose only one choice between fundamental analysis or gauging sentiment and market direction through the COT report, which one would you choose? Yeah, I'm not going to use either, to be honest with you. You know, it's kind of, you know, I don't want to gauge sentiment. Sentiment changes in a second, and I don't want to trade fundamentally anymore because I've done that for so long, and it just drives me insane. So, you know, I'd probably choose the fundamental analysis, particularly because I'm an investor, and on investing, I look at the fundamentals to make my investments. So I look at how good the company is, who the CEO is, what the financials are, all that type of stuff. So the fundamentals are more important to me because it's longer over time, because I'm trading in or investing in over time. So I'm looking at the possibility of making a profit in the future. So if I was to choose between the two on any situation, I would most likely choose the fundamentals because they give me that much more information as to where my money is going to be in the future, whatever future that is, how long it is, how far away it is. So yeah, fundamental analysis is far more important than gauging sentiment. Sentiment is very short term. Sentiment is how the market's feeling today because a president stood up and said something, or a Fed stood up and said something about interest rates, or the money flows are stopped for a few seconds, or whatever the case. All right, so like I say, sentiment is a big thing, but it's not important because it's very short-lived. Sentiments change, and it can change 3 times in the same day. That's volatility. For example, you get these long spikes up and down. That's basically sentiment in the market. Everything you see happening in the market is basically sentiment. How am I feeling right now because somebody said I'm going to raise interest rates? The fundamentals behind it is they're raising interest rates. The sentiment is maybe negative. So, but the sentiment is negative, short-lived. After they've thought about it, they think, well, hang on a minute, maybe it's a good thing for the country. Maybe people are going to do better from it. And the sentiment switches, and it switches over to positive because it's doing a good thing for the country. So sentiment is very short-lived, whereas fundamental analysis is more long-term, and it gives you much more information. But I try to limit news events. I try to limit sentiment, and I try to look at what the charts are doing. Because when I tell you don't use technical analysis as your be-all and end-all, it does give you direction as to what the pro traders are doing. What am I looking for when I'm looking at the charts? I'm looking for what all these pro traders are doing. I'm looking for where the money is. I'm looking for the liquidity. That's all I'm looking for, is where they're putting their orders, because they've got fundamental analysis and they've got sentiment information that you and I will never have, because we don't sit at Morgan Stanley and get that information. We don't sit at Goldman Sachs and get that information. I don't want to drop names, but these are BlackRock, these types of guys. They've got information before you and I can even smell it, right? So they know what's going down. So they're placing their bets, and we've got no chance. So the only chance that we've got is to ride on their backs at the end of the day. By the time you get the news, by the time you get the information, seconds have passed, minutes may have passed before you can even take your trade. They're way ahead of the game, way ahead of you. Just their equipment alone will far supersede any equipment you will ever have. Your internet will not even come close to what they've got in the way of time, in the way of knowing things before you know them. So that's why we ride on their backs. That's why we trade on slower time frames. I mean, they can work on seconds, and they can pick things up that you and I just can't pick up. And that is the big issue at the end of the day. That just, hopefully that answers your question. Wendy says, I agree with you, Carl. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you're just in the range. Okay, so Carl, we're going to play around here on the 5 minutes on the Euro US dollar, just by the way. We're going to have a bit of fun, okay? So what we're going to do is this, in all likelihood, should come down and take this money here, and then we're going to take it long, and we're going to see if this is actually going to work. We're actually going to see if these 5-minute trades are going to work just for fun. Yeah, the questions are not that difficult, but they are probably difficult to a lot of people. But when you've been around as long as I have, you've seen it, done it, sold a t-shirt a few times. You'll see that also that I don't play a lot into abbreviations. I don't play a lot into the rubbish that people look at within the markets, calling a candle this or a stick that or an abbreviation for this or that or the other, because that's very unimportant to me. Market terminology, that's the word I'm looking for. Market terminology, that's meaningless to me. A lot of guys play a lot into that, and it's not important. It's really not important. Don't worry about market terminology. It's so unimportant at the end of the day. Shall we draw a trend line in here? I don't know. Let's just see. I might be nailing myself here because this is basically coming down. So on the 5-minute chart, what would you do? You're probably going to buy this long. We're probably going to buy this long now. And we're going to see if it continues on up to the upside. So we're going to buy 180,000 of these. And I'm not too worried. It's going to come down into here and go up. That's fine. We could do dollar cost averaging to see if that works as well. We can just have fun. This is not real money, so who cares on this one? I need to put a stop loss in. How do I do that? Okay, we need to manage this trade. This is from last week, by the way, guys. Remember, we had the $830 profit because we were playing around. So now this week, Okay, so let's put a stop loss in at 1088.00 and oof. Okay. I don't suppose it will allow me to work on this thing, eh? Okay, right, let's take a take profit at 109. 100, okay, 1094. Maybe 109. Actually, you can take the profit at 109. It's actually a bad risk to reward this if you think about it. 109.236. It's high stakes, so let's just see. Okay, so let's take the profit there, 109.235. Let's take the stop loss at 108.6. 108.600. I know, 108.900, what you're talking about. Getting this wrong there. It needs to be up there. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, let's change this to 109.300 just to be on the ball. Okay, modify. There we go. Now we've got a take profit and a stop loss. Okay, we're going to leave that and we're going to see what it does. Okay, as you all know, it's a bit of a demo. Let's see what it does. It's coming into there now. Let's see if it goes up. Let's see if it. I'll tell you what. It's in there now. Let's double the trade. Okay, so now you've got 2. Let's see what it does. Okay, right. Wonderful. Really pleased to see that. Now we're going back to our normal stuff. And we're going to carry on like we should be. Okay. Oh, yeah. Messing around, eh? Messing around. Playing games. I love playing games. Well, I used to anyway. Right, so what have we got here? We've got the CHF JPY, US 500. I hope nobody was long on the US 500. Now, what's happening on the US 500 is it's trying to find its way back. It's suffering. It's trying to do this. Now, I've seen this 100 times before, guys, where it tries to find its way back. It's trying to find its way up, and everybody gets excited because it's crawling back, and then it carries on falling. So be careful. Like I said to you guys before, I was waiting for a green candle to come through here, push up, then I would have gone long, or waiting for a red candle to come out the bottom here. If it comes out the bottom here, I'm thinking we're correcting down to the 5,500 or maybe even the 5,200, which is great because we can get ahead on that. Kevin, I'm already having my coffee, man. This is probably my 20th cup of coffee today. Goodness me. Okay, so Wendy just asked me to look at Euro, Australian, and Euro. Few pairs trending on the same. Why are they shooting up? What could be causing it? Boom, 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 boom. Euro Oz. It's probably to do with the euro itself, because if you look at the Euro Oz going up here, and then we go to the top and we look at the Euro US dollar, it's doing something very similar. So it's most likely got something to do with the euro more than it has anything to do with the Oz. And it's all to do with what's being said in the politics, what's being said, whether they've reduced interest rates or not, what the economy is like in Germany, what the economy is like in France and the UK, and you know, it all plays into the Forex. And understanding Forex fundamentals can be quite complicated. So what I try and do is stay away from the fundamentals of Forex as far away as possible, Wendy, and I just look at what the charts are doing. And what the charts are telling me is the traders are excited about the euro. It's easy to determine which instrument they're interested in, because like you say, you look at the euro CAD, it's jumping up. You look at the euro anything, it's jumping up. The euro JPY, it's going up. The euro US dollar, it's going up. It's all to do with the euro. So now you know there's something around the euro which is making a difference. Euro, Great British Pound, all the way up, even against the Great British Pound, which is saying something, which means it's not even regional, it's about the euro. So there you go. Then you just need to find out what might be causing it for the euro if you're inquisitive. But other than that, not too worried, not to worry about it at all. What's my opinion of the NASDAQ 100, Carl? The Tech 100 is following exactly, it's actually causing what's happening with the S&P, right? The Tech 100 is extremely powerful. It handles all the tech shares, for example, NVIDIA and all those, and that's where all the tech shares go in. That's why they call it the Tech 100. It's got a lot of weighting in the S&P 500, and effectively there's the top 7 shares which cause this Tech 100 to move up and down. My mind is never going to remember which ones they all are, but Apple's in there, and there's a whole bunch of them. NVIDIA, gosh, to name but a couple. There's Tesla there. There's quite a few, okay, that are involved in the Tech 100, and they weight quite a lot into the index. So there's weighting in the index. So some companies have more weighting than others. So in other words, if NVIDIA sells off, it can push the market down quite heavily. And that's what's effectively happening. And then the Tech 100 is heavily weighted into the S&P 500. So that causes the S&P to fall quite heavily. Sometimes you'll see the Dow maybe not fall as hard. And that's because the Dow is mostly the financials and the banks and all that kind of stuff, and the retailers and what have you. So that will be a bit less of the same pattern. But you'll often see that the Tech 100's pattern is very similar to the S&P 500, because the Tech 100 is probably moving the S&P 500 quite a lot, unless of course there's a really good news on the Dow side of the business, in which case you'll get a slightly different pattern. So there's basically the top companies, there's top 5 to 7 companies that are moving this in this direction. Once that, and it's related to what's being said with what are they calling these tariffs and all that sort of thing in the market, and what Trump is saying in the US, and the people trading amongst each other, which is going to have an effect on those companies in the long run. Think about it. You know, if you start putting tariffs on countries and you start messing around with import and export duties and all that sort of stuff, you start blocking off money flows back and forward. You're causing a bit of hassle within the market. So what happens with traders is they look at that, or investors look at that and say, well, where's this company going to be? I traded into this with a view to it being at that price in the future, but now I'm seeing a slightly different picture because these guys are putting tariffs on. So I'm looking at maybe it's that price, not that price. So I'm going to have to change my view on this product. And a lot of people might sell out of it and put it into something else, or move money around in the markets and that sort of thing, unless you get these corrections, you get these moves in the market. It's not a crash yet. It's not like the world has ended, but people are redistributing the money to different areas of the market. Don't forget, these indexes are made up of all the companies. And when people redistribute their money among those companies, then the market's going to move accordingly based on that whole scenario. Like I always say, human beings, real companies, real money. It's not pie in the sky. You know, all you see is charts, all you see is computers. It's just what that guy said this morning, where he's like, he's lost this money and now it's all technical analysis that's caused the problem. No, it's nothing to do with technical analysis. It's to do with how you approach the market. It's to do with how you understand the markets. That's what makes all the difference. So, yeah, looking for long positions, Wendy, is precisely what I'm doing on the S&P 500, but you've got to be patient. You've got to wait for this to play out. Now, my thoughts on this is, you know, down here at the 5200 would be an excellent entry, and it might come down to the 5500 and then turn around. We just have to see how far it's prepared to go. It does look like it'll probably get down here to the 55, which is great. Will it go to the 52? That's the next question. But the only way to determine it is by trading what you see. And if you trade what you see, then you'll be able to trade this. So what you're waiting for is a clear signal that is breaking to the upside. and then you can trade it. So same with the Tech 100, same sort of scenario. My investments I don't even look at. I know some of them have lost a few bucks in the last week. It's okay. It'll come back. It always does. It's great. Investments stay there for as long as possible. In fact, one of my biggest regrets in my trading career, I'm going to make a video about this, I got to, but one of my biggest regrets in my trading career is I didn't learn to invest from the start, the first day. I wish I'd learned earlier. I wish I'd had that aha moment so much earlier, and someone had told me it's time in the market, not timing the market, because I can tell you it would have been so much better for me today. So I'm glad hopefully I'm telling somebody young today, do your research, invest in the markets now, and leave the money there. Don't touch it. Just leave it there. Just keep adding to it every month. If I'd known that if I'd learned that when I was younger, if I'd listened when I was younger, because some old pros did say that, and I thought they were just talking through holes in their heads of these guys don't know what they're talking about. I'll just trade, and only I'd listened, I would have done a lot better had I started investing just a little bit earlier as well. So yeah, you learn in life as you go. But when you're young, you're hard-headed and you don't learn. You think you know it all, and you don't. And that's the problem. I wish I could have learned from experience like that, or just listened. Just remember, Carl, that the NASDAQ Tech 100 is more volatile than the S&P 500, because the S&P 500 is made up of a few extra products which make it a little bit less volatile. The Tech 100 can be insanely volatile, and it also reacts to basically, like I said, about 7 top shares. So whereas the US 500 reacts a little bit more realistically. So if you wanted I prefer, even with my long years in this, to go with the US 500, S&P 500 trades, or as Bobby does, he trades the money contracts with the ES, and that's also fine. But I'm actually looking at long term on the S&P 500 as well, because on the easy equities in South Africa, I have the opportunity to buy the S&P 500 on a one-to-one on a normal basis on an ETF, and invest in it forever and just leave the money there. So I do that as well. Okay. So when I get a good price, throw it in, add to the trade. Your line there has several touch points. Yeah, are you worried about this line maybe? Okay. Yeah, it's just there. This is not a religious line. This is not a brick wall. This is not one of those serious lines. There's your serious railway up there that's now invalid because it's broken out of that trend and it's broken to the downside. So it's broken its long-term trend. You see, it was in a long-term trend and it broke that completely when it's gone. So we could actually take those lines out if we wanted to. I just drew this in, and it's got lots of touch points on it, which is great. I just drew this in to give me a direction, so that I know that when this is breaking to the upside, I know that's pretty much it's changing direction. But it's not religious. It's not like, ooh, that's the point. It's just like, okay, it's kind of happening. That's all it is for me. But these tram lines can actually start coming out. This has now broken its structure and it's heading to the downside. And I'm expecting, and this is gut feel, so do be careful of this, but I'm expecting it to go down to 55. I'm expecting it to maybe even go down to 52. I've seen this all before. Just when you think it's going to go back up, it falls a bit further, it falls a bit further. This looks like quite a decent correction. I'm looking for that decent correction. So if we get a 20% to here, fantastic stuff. That's good news, because that's like from 6,000 to 5,000. That's a pretty good run. That'll be great. Okay. I'm sure Kevin's got his cup of tea now. Cheers, mate. Oh, I wonder what's happening. You know what I do with NVIDIA, Kevin? I just keep adding to it. I don't trade it, I just invest in it. But I invested when it was a bit cheaper, so and I've added to it as I go. So while I did add to it while it was up at 130 as well, sad for me, but I did buy it below the 100 as well. So that's okay, I'm not too concerned. And it will go back up. It always will. And then I've got lots of other investments, so it doesn't matter, when that one goes down a bit, the other ones are up. So the portfolio is always in a positive once you've had it for more than a couple of years. Let me just have a look at what happened on that 5-minute chart. Well, nothing yet. Just so as you guys know, the 5 minutes still sitting just about around where we bought it. I'll show it to you guys later on. We'll get back to it. Let's go and have a look at what it's doing. This CHF JPY trade's doing okay. T in hand. Yeah, there we go. T in hand. That's the way to go. Well, let me go and show you guys what's happening on that 5-minute chart. And we'll go and check that out. Okay, let's just move this over. Let's go and see what's happening on that 5-minute chart. So just to show you guys, there's the 5-minute trade that we took on Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar, as you guys know, this is just for fun. This is not the real dosh. But like I said, I drew a demand of money in here. I said if it gets here, let's see if it bounces up and goes up. So we took the long trade. I doubled up on the trade actually to make it a better trade. Let's see what it does. Let's see if it goes. Let me just have a look here on this account that we're playing around with. Yeah, we've got a quantity of 360. That's actually quite good, don't you think? All right. And actually, if it makes a profit, I'm going to look like an ass because I told all you guys that 99% of traders lose money on 5-minute trading. And if we keep on winning, it's just going to make me look silly, isn't it? But anyway, okay, there you go. At least it shows the system kind of works. What's on the news? Inflation worries, that sort of thing. Funded trader markets. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are into funded trading, but they're still here on special. They never seem to change the specials. They all seem to be on special. They're actually a bit less than what I had. And you get instant funding as well. But be careful of that because the drawdown and stuff is very, very, very little. And they charge you a lot for a 25K account. So yeah, you can get an account challenge for $89 at 25,000. 149 for 50K is not bad, eh? Actually not bad at all. And then you don't have to put up the money they do. That's actually quite cool. There is a link down there if you want one. Trump says he'll buy a new Tesla to show support for Musk. I mean, seriously, buying one Tesla is going to make all the difference, eh? He's going to buy one Tesla. He's busy trying to keep his thing going on. Dodge and Tesla as difficult as stock slumps. Yeah. You see, that's what happens when the Tech 100 slumps and then, something like Tesla will go with it. It's just bound to happen. And then, he's got his Doji, and the crypto is also crunching at the moment. So it makes it difficult for these billionaires, eh? Gosh, must be difficult being a billionaire, man. Gosh, imagine. Must be hard work. Okay, so this 5-minute trade is... I thought they moved a lot faster than that. Is there anything else we can play around with as well? Let's just see on these 5-minute charts. Oh, here's another one, Euro JPY. Maybe that will come into there as well. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, man, seriously. Maybe we'll take this one as well. Cool, cool, cool. We'll see what that does, just for interest's sake. Tesla shares are down, that's why. Max says the power of compounding daily will accelerate any financial goal, large or small. I have now incorporated a trading compounding calculator I will be able to accomplish my goals in less time. Are you, Max, are you thinking of dollar cost averaging? Because if you are, you realize it's going to end up in tears. If you're going up and you're adding to your winning trades, that's fine. But if you're adding to your losing trades, that's going to hurt. But if it's investing, that's fine. If you're investing, that's what we do. But if you're trading, I think if you're talking about compounding, ooh, every time I've seen that, it's ended in a disaster. It doesn't end well, eh? Doesn't end well. Don't dollar cost average. Choose a stop area. Choose an area where you feel the trade's invalid and get out. Just learn to lose. Take some losses and try and make some good, and try and keep the good trades. Keep the good trades going, then you'll make money. You know? If you're going to compound trades, compound winning trades, not losing trades. There's no point in compounding losing trades because they're just losing trades. Don't know, Kevin. I've never used one. Never in my life. Okay. So I think Max will have to answer that for you, Kevin. But I think it's something to do with dollar cost averaging. That's why I'm asking. As I said to you guys, I don't dollar cost average at all. I tried it in the past. I did try it in the past. I did give it a go. And I realized that there's a roadblock at the end of dollar cost averaging. Always. Wonder. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I don't know. I was thinking about the question thing. You know, I try to answer the questions in the morning videos and on the weekly video, but yeah, it's I can answer them in the normal videos as well. So if you guys want to ask the questions, do yourself a favor and put them out there so that we can nail it. But I can't answer Kevin's question because I don't use those. Next weekend, there might not be a weekly review because my daughter's getting married, but on the Monday, I'll definitely bring out the normal video. Oh, don't DCA. I trade with small incremental targets and then I achieve about that more compensates for the losses. I trade with small incremental targets and when I achieve about that, it more than compensates for the losses. Okay. Do you take the full trade size when you start trading, or do you take a portion of your trade size when you start trading? That's a question for Max. Do you take the full trade size when you start trading and then have small targets, or do you take an incremental? Yeah, or do you take a smaller entry, Max? Just for interest's sake. I'm just interested in how Max's trading system is working and what it's about. You know, everybody has a system, and it's just, you know, if you have a system and it's a high probability trade, that's great. You just need to make sure you've got a strategy with it, and that could well be a strategy that you're using. And if it's working for you, then you must use it. Just interested from my side as to how, and as long as it's not DCA. But if you're not starting with a full trade, then that kind of, there's always like almost no point to it. Okay, so here you go, guys. So if I was on a 5-minute trader, what I would do now, because it's in this level, is I would want to take my long trade, because my long trade is going to take me out of here So, and I presume it's going to go up from here and carry on with its normal run-of-the-mill long side. So I'm going to buy these, okay, on the 5 minute. Watch me destroy this account. I'm just having fun, guys. Okay, so what's the stop loss on this? Because we bought, I guess 160. What did we buy at? 160. So we can leave it at 160.3 and take profit 161. I don't know. How does that look? I actually don't know what I've got here. I'll have another look at it now. Let's just see what we've got here. So that would be a stop loss, and that would be a take profit. And okay, let's just buy some more. And just buy some more. Okay, make it a little bit better. It's easy to do it when it's not real there. There you go. Okay. No, it's not. Pamela, this is not an actual account. I told you guys I'm playing the fool with this 5 minute account, okay? Just to show you that it's complicated 5 minute trading. This is a demo account just for fun, okay? This is not real money, eh? This is just to show you guys what happens when you trade on 5 minute charts, because I do not trade on 5 minute charts, because I know at the end of the day, it always goes pear-shaped every single time, which is why I'm not putting real money in here. The real money's on the other account, okay, that we play with, the 4 hour, right? That's real. Okay. So don't get confused, guys. Don't get confused. So Shane, just wondering, how long are you holding the M5 trades? We're holding them for a profit, okay? You see, the trouble with 5 minute trading, and this is why I don't trade 5 minute trades, okay, Shane, is because at the end of the day, this is basically scalping. You know, I'm putting a profit target in place and I'm letting it take that profit. I'm holding them for the period that we're here talking. Whatever happens when we go, we close them out, because I'm not going to sit and run this demo in the background or anything to that effect. I put a take profit in place. I put a stop loss in place. And look at the risk to reward on this particular trade. It's insanely bad. So this needs to actually move up to about there, right? Now there's your stop loss, okay? So now you've got a plan. Now you've got a proper stop loss. But it's not 2 to 1. And it's difficult to pick up a 2 to 1 on a 5 minute trade and get it right. And I don't really care if we win or lose here. I want you to see how insane this is, because we're going to win a few trades. I'm telling you, we're going to win a few trades because it's 5 minute trading. And on 5 minute trading, that's what happens. But there's that one that's going to take all of this and throw it in the bin. And it always does. Every single time, it always does. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys is, you know, it doesn't always win. But with my luck, it's going to just keep on winning on this demo account, isn't it? But okay, you just got to see that I don't want to teach you guys to trade on 5 minute trades, okay? I'm not teaching you guys to trade on 5 minute trades. It's a really, 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 really bad idea. Okay, we trade on 4 hours, and that's what we're dealing with, 4 hour trades. This is just to show you guys what 5 minute trading is like, okay? Okay, Max, thanks, Lincoln. You're already very aware. Yeah, so please believe me when I'm telling you I'm not trying to show you to trade 5 minute trades, okay? I'm just showing you what happens. For example, let's say you have an initial balance of $100 and your daily goal is to make, let's say, 1 to 2% daily, or $1 to $2. You don't need to take full position to reach that. Once I reach it. So you've got targets, Max, on your initial balance. So you're looking to target a profit daily. Okay, I get you. The complicated part about that is, you see, like for me, I look at a profit target annually, because on a daily basis, I'll have losing days and I'll have winning days. In fact, I'll have losing months and winning months. So it's very difficult to cover that. But I understand what you're trying to do. Okay. The trouble with not taking full positions, the problem with not taking full positions, like I'm not taking full positions on these 5-minute charts, is it becomes a mishmash of profits and losses. You know, some are bigger than others, and you're not really covering the plan. You know, like on the proper trading with our 4-hour trading, as I show you, I always keep the loss the same, and then the account's stable, and you know, no matter what happens, you're going to lose that amount, and then the wins, you try and make more. But when you're sort of scalping around like this, you can take smaller and bigger trades and mess around. You're not really going to get a clear picture of what you're getting, big or small. That's the only problem with that. But yeah, I get it. I get it. Of course, this is going to win. Okay. Okay, you see what's happening here, guys? This 5-minute account, right? As you know, we're doing it on a demo so that we can demonstrate what happens with 5-minute trading, okay? Whereas, you know, it's different to our 4-hour trading. And what's going to happen here is you're going to win these trades, right? We're going to win these trades. And then you're going to throw real money in and say, let me do this with real money. And you know what's going to happen, eh? You're going to lose these trades. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, don't get too excited about this. But what I would do if I was a scalper right now is I would take this profit. So look at that. It's right at the top here. It's right at the point here. So then you would close this trade and take that money, and you'd go to the euro, US dollar. You'd look at that, and we're going to look at that as well. Look at that. It's coming right up onto the resistance. So if I was a scalper, I'd close that trade and take that money, and that would be the day's trading, and that would actually be quite good. And in 2 days of trading 5-minute trades, we've actually made 1,560. So that's how you would trade the 5-minute charts, but I can almost guarantee you it's going to go against you every single time. It may look good here, but I can promise you it doesn't work like that in real life always. Let's just see if there's another trade to play around with and see if we can lose all that money. Because I'm pretty sure we can. Pretty sure we can lose all that money. Euro, Great British Pound, US dollars today. Oh, that's another good one. That one actually might take some money over here. Euro JPY, and we just did that one. This dollar JPY. Ah, look at that. Okay, so here's another one. You're on the 5-minute chart, should be looking for that level there. So you'll be looking for that level there. So if it comes into that level, you can take that trade. Great British Pound, US dollar, Euro, US dollar, we just took that one. And you see that it's coming back down again. So I was right. So you'd hit that level. If I was a scalper, I'd get out and take that money. I did this for years, guys. I played this game for a long time. But you know, at the end of the day, while it looks good here, I really honestly broke even. It really, it looks good, but it doesn't really always work. So don't get too excited about it when you see us winning here. It's actually, there you go. I just want to see if this one's going to play out, and we can trade this one as well, just for the hell of it, just for fun. Thanks, Max. Yeah, we all trade the 4-hour, by the way. Just remember, Max, don't do this. We're playing the fool here. I'm trying to see if we can lose the money. We are definitely trading on the 4-hour. Believe me, I've tried being a scalper. It says here, Rob, perhaps you were meant to be a scalper. Trust me, I've tried it, I've done it, and you win a whole bunch of trades in a row, and you get all excited and you've got all this profit, and one trade comes along and you know what it does? It takes you out. It absolutely takes you out. Lost you for a moment there, guys. Let's see if you come back. Just trying to fix it here. And while that's happening, the US dollar and Japanese yen has started going up. So I think I'm going to leave it and we'll go back to our normal charts and play around. There we go, I'm back. Okay, that's fine. Just went a little bit insane for a while there. And yeah, like you say, perhaps I was meant to be a scalper, but no, believe me. Do you know what generally happens is you take 5, 6, 7, 8 trades and you win them because the system's not that bad. You win all those trades and you put all that work into it. And eventually what happens is you get one trade, it comes back and takes it out. There's a few of you guys here that know. For example, Lincoln will know how bad it works. Yeah, and then here's the you do great on, like for example, these are demos, so this is easy, isn't it? This is so easy on demos. I can go mad, but try doing it in real life. You put real big stakes money and high stakes amounts of money in, and it starts going against you. Ooh, it changes everything, man. Changes everything. Yeah. Okay. Next says do a Google and find that. So yeah, we'll wait a few seconds and we'll play a little game here and see if we get another one of these demand trades out of here. Let me just see here, because there is a level here. Boom. Oh, maybe I've missed it. Maybe I've already overstepped it. I know, but I would have expected it to get a little bit further down. So the other thing you guys can do is like with the Fibonacci. Oh man, really? I chose the wrong thing there. Sorry, guys. You can draw Fibonacci in. Just have a look. You know, if this comes down to the sort of golden area down here, you can look at areas where you want to buy in that. So on 5-minute charts, Fibonacci actually works quite well as well. You know, if you want to do something like that. On the test service, I was doubling my $1,000. Yeah, you see, that's why the longer time frames work. Because once you go to the longer time frames, your money becomes less at risk, and it becomes easier to manage, and it becomes easier to trade. If you're trading on the smaller time frames, what actually happens is it becomes impossible to maintain, and you end up losing it. Yeah, the slippage getting out, and there's so many things. There's so many factors. It's actually not the system that lets you down. It's actually your psychology that lets you down at the end of the day. It's how you look at the trading at the end of the day that's going to let you down. It's always the case. Every single time without fail, your psychology is going to let you down every single time. And also you've got to take your trades that much faster. You've got to, jump into them that much faster. You're basically gambling, because the information that I'm getting here off a 5-minute chart is very vague and very basic in comparison to what I'm getting off a 4-hour daily chart. So I'm taking a trade based on what a few people are telling me might happen in the next 5 minutes. It's insane. One of the biggest problems you find trading was constantly checking the trade. If you're constantly checking the trade, you might be a bit heavy in the trade. Maybe lighten your load. It might make you feel a bit more comfortable. I think Trader Tom is very good with his approach. He knows his stuff. there was a South African guy that was his mentor. Can't remember his name. That has passed away recently. That used to use Wyckoff as well. And well, he was English, but he lived in South Africa here. But yeah, Tom knows his stuff, but you have to understand one thing. Okay, his psychology is different to yours. So if you try trading with his system, that's great. But remember, that's just the system. You need to have the psychology that he has, which is effectively when he's trading with real money, it's like he's trading on a demo account. And you know that psychology is very difficult to achieve. So you can't be exactly like him. He's one of the few guys, one of the few traders that know how to trade on smaller time frames, that know how to handle high risk trading. Very few actually understand it. And whatever system you use, it doesn't matter. It's not about the system. And if you ask him as well, he will tell you it's not about the system so much as, well, look, he does his research and he looks at his, we all do. We all look at high probability. But at the end of the day, it's about the mindset and the fear and how he handles it. And if you're going to trade on those time frames, you have to handle the risk. You have to work with it that way. It's the only way. You can't look at it as a system. You've got to look at it as how you approach it, how you approach the trades, because that's what's going to make you the money at the end of the day. You see, if you're constantly checking the trade, Shane, then you've got to look at how much you're trading. You see, that's what happens when you're trading with real money. And if it's a little bit too much to lose, or it feels a little bit uncomfortable, you're going to find yourself constantly checking. It could also be a psychological thing. Sometimes I'll find myself constantly checking something that's unimportant. At the smallest trades, I'll take the smallest trade and I'll be constantly checking it for whatever reason. Sometimes it's just a thing that your inner self, you don't want to lose. You don't want to suffer that loss, no matter how big or small it is. It sometimes can be that kind of psychology. And this is what brings me to what Pompola says when he hears, have you heard of Tom? You have to understand that guy's brain is wired differently to yours. You're not going to be able to carbon copy that easily unless you are exactly that type of person. You have to switch off completely from the money. And you have to be able to take those trades just like a picture in front of you. Also, the way he researches his trading is quite in-depth, and you're not probably going to do that. He works out his own systems and he works out things that work for himself. And everybody has to do that to be successful. He puts a lot of hours in, and you just copy trading is not going to be the answer for you. Even after all these years, I have my limitations. I don't just switch off from the money. The smaller money, yeah, well, what's small and what's big is different for different people. But I have my limitations still. And some people maybe don't have that limitation. You get these guys that are massive gamblers and that sort of thing. I've watched particularly some guys go into a casino, walk up to the roulette table, pick a number and just take $1,000 out and throw it at it. See what happens. Drink a beer down, throw another $1,000 at it, and you're like, what are you doing? You get people like that. That's what they do. I can't do that. I have my limitations. I can't do that. I'm a cautious person. So I love trading, but I trade with caution and I trade with care. So no, I'm not that guy. Okay, I'm going to leave this behind because this is just going to go on and on and on, isn't it? It's just going to keep on Yeah, I'm not going to bother with this anymore. Look what's in the news. Trump says he'll buy a new Tesla. Yeah, okay, that's great. Let's go back to our normal charts and just get on with it. I was just having some fun there. We'll do that every week. We'll have a bit of fun and we'll do a 5-minute trade just to see how it goes. We'll just see. We'll see how that works out. Let's just go back to our normal funded trader account, our normal account that we use on a regular basis, and we trade on a regular basis and on our 4-hour charts. Right, let's have a look at 4-hour trades again, guys. So this is your account, and let's try and make it work. Okay. Can't constantly check trades all day, every day for my own sanity. I have to get away from the charts, and I have to do other things to do. I couldn't watch charts all day. I'd get nothing else done. Yeah, that's totally true. Look, a lot of guys actually trade 5-minute charts because, for example, in that Tom's case, I know he only trades for a couple of hours a day maybe and makes the money and then walks away. So, yeah, there's that. And like Coral says here, if you're happy with your stop loss, you don't need to check your trade because it doesn't matter. They see, now this is why we trade on the higher time frames. So what you can do, Shane, is try and teach yourself to switch off a little bit. In other words, put your stop loss in, put your take profit in, be happy with it, and then try and force yourself to walk away for most of the day. Maybe tell yourself, I can check the trade twice a day. And just learn to do that. Try and switch things off. Sometimes you'll come back to it and it'll be an absolute disaster. And sometimes you'll come back to it and it'll be a pleasant surprise. But it relaxes you a little bit and it tones you down a little bit. The 5-minute trading on real money, that'll drive you insane because you do have to sit and watch it. If you're trading for 2 hours, you're going to sit and watch it for 2 hours. And you're going to have to put that time in. What a lot of those guys do on the 5-minute charts is they wait for opening of markets and closing of markets and that type of thing so that they can get a bit of excitement in and out, but they're in and out, and that's it. So, yeah, set your stop loss, set your take profit, set the trades, leave them, walk away. Doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as they work out somewhere down the line at the end of the day, which is why the 5-minute becomes that much more difficult. I mean, we could sit here and trade 5 minutes on this account. We'd probably lose the account, but yeah, we could do it. But yeah, Shane, it's... Believe me, I'm not telling you guys to do anything. It's just what I would do, okay? You make your own choices and you figure out what works best for you. But my advice is try that, try and set it up and walk away and see what it does. Okay, so is there any 4-hour trades that we can look at? Look at that. So we're waiting for a short on Euro US dollar. What do you guys think? I'm looking for a short when it comes out of there. Now you see the difference when it's like real and when it's demo, okay? On the demo, I would have just clicked sell and see what happens. But on real, I'm going to wait for it to confirm and go through that line and give me a green candle because this is something we want to succeed. Okay. So your psychology is slightly different. You're much more reckless on a demo than you are with a real account. And when you go on these courses, that's what happens to you. You get confident and you see that and you come back and you think, that was easy. And then you find out that, hey, it ain't so easy, man. It's actually quite difficult. And let's do this. That one we know. Okay. Make that up there. Yeah, if that breaks through there, we got a reasonable trade there. So, okay. That looks fair. So we're looking for a short on Euro Great British Pound as well. So we need to set up an alert here. That's probably about there. Okay. Cool. That looks good. And Euro US dollar, I think we need to set up an alert as well. Up there. Cool. Okay, cool. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Ah, that looks short to me as well. Now I got a feeling that that one could go short. Now let's not change that. Let's just use that one. Let's just use that one and just stay with that. That looks pretty short to me. US dollar, Canadian dollar. It's hit resistance. Looks like it wants to break through there. Should I take a chance on a sell here? Possibly. Yeah, let's add a sell in here, guys. Let's add a sell in here. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Thanks, Kevin. That's exactly what I say. It's just my ideas. Stop loss, 145.7. 145.7. On a sell. Okay, that would be 200 bucks. Yep. Okay. Take profit. I would say take profit at 142. Okay. Okay, so we're going to sell the US dollar, Canadian dollar. See how she goes. Okay. Right, and then the other one, Pamela says CHF JPY. We're already long on that one. Look, we're already long here. That's CHF JPY. We're long on that one. We already got that one. So CHF JPY is already long. Gold, flat. US 500 is going down still. US 30 is going down with the S&P. The DAX, I was looking at the DAX earlier, wondering if we'll pick up some money here somewhere. Not much going on there. So we'll leave that one out. Brent, still waiting for my long trade here. Looking for a long trade on Brent. FTSE short. JAP 225. Looks kind of short. Okay. JAP 225 does look kind of short, doesn't it? Let's take it up to the day. Can we? Go up there. Yeah, looks like it wants to continue on to the downside. And there is a level down here. Seems to be falling over. Yeah, that does look kind of short. Let's just see here. I shouldn't be doing it this way, but you know, doesn't look bad at all. What's this? JAP 225. That's the Nikkei. Okay, Nikkei looks short now. It was long earlier. I'm pretty sure of that. Aussie dollar, US dollar has now turned short from a long. It went long beautifully. And now it's turned the other way and gone down. Look at that. Now it's going short again. It's kind of insane the way this thing's going. Let me see. There's money lying here. Hang on. Where's the blocky? There's money lying here. That could be going long again. But it's not really giving much direction, is it? I'd like to see it break up. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, pretty much the same. Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is heading on down. The Jap 225, the Nikkei, say it looks good for a long when it breaks up. Yeah, it's going to have to break up though. It's got a nice downtrend though. You know, if you wanted to go short on it at the moment, you could. But there's not a hell of a lot of risk to reward there, but it is going in the right direction. The Brent looks good on the 4 hour. Yeah, it looks great there, but like you say, you take it up to the day and you take it up to the weekly, it's looking a bit iffy. I'll actually wait, even on the 4 hour, I'll wait for this to break to the upside here. Give it a bit of space. You really want to wear your cowboy hat, but yeah, that cowboy hat gets you into trouble, man. Gets you into a lot of trouble. Very quickly. Don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. Let's see, what else have we got here? Great British Pound, Aussie dollar. That's just straight up Aussie dollar CAD. Well, that's an interesting one, actually. In all my little lines here. Just want to see. Okay, what does that look like? It looks pretty long, actually, but it needs to come out of this, break through that, and give us a downside. That'll be good. I'm actually going to take that line out. It's pretty useless to me now. Let's see if it breaks down. Lincoln JR Ewing. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to be trading Brent and be JR Ewing. That's just, that goes without saying. Oh, yeah, I love it. US dollar. And was that Swiss franc, not China? Eh? Yeah. Okay, I get mixed up between China and Swiss franc. It's crazy. Okay, this looks good. What's going on here? What is going on here? Trend line. Wow, guys. Am I seeing things? Or is this a good trade? Yeah, I don't want to make... Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, that looks decent. That looks really decent. US dollar, CHF, and for a buy. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look at what we got here. We're going for a buy. So a buy with a stop loss at... I'll go low with a stop loss so that we can make some money. 87,250. With a stop loss of 87,250, one lot is just too big. What about half a lot? No, it needs to be 0.2 lots. 0.2 lots will do the trick. Okay. And US dollar CHF. So we're going to buy that. That looks good. All right. Take profit. Where's the take profit? Take profit 9,500. Okay. 9,500 looks good to me all the way up there. Could do 89 as well. Let's do 9,500. That looks like a decent trade. Okay. That looks decent. That looks like a nice trade. Place order. Okay, in she goes. Okay. Reasonable. That's not bad. We had a bit of fun there. Coral, when I say there's money lying here, how do you know it's because there's... Yes. It can be because there's resistance or support, because those are areas of liquidity. How do I know they're areas of liquidity? Because every time the price gets there, it moves away, which means it's taking money and moving away. It's taking orders and moving away. So that's an area of liquidity. Also, supply and demand. If I see some supply and demand, watch my supply and demand video in detail. It's in that plethora of videos that I've got there. Otherwise, I'll make a new one. But supply and demand is actually quite a helpful thing. What I normally do for supply and demand, if there's a supply of money, there's money lying here, for example. So you'll often hear me say that. And forgive me, guys, because I don't draw the things in every time. I just look at the area and I see the money and I know it's there. But if you have 3 big red candles coming down like that, 4, and you have a little green candle before it, that would be a supply of money. That's an area where there's a supply of money. Now, how do I know that's a supply of money? And it works the opposite way. Green candle is going up, and you've got a red candle before as a demand of money at the bottom, okay? It's just terminology. It's just there's money lying there, okay? I just say there's money lying here. How do I know there's money lying here? Because there's a force of money flowing down. Red candle, red candle, red candle, red candle. So when it hit that price, it got pushed down heavily, which means there was orders in that area. Those orders are still in that area because the price hasn't gone back up to test it. So when this price gets back up here, it might take that money and come down again. I do have to be careful when we got our trade of looking at where that profit might be. So when you see that, there's money lying there. When you see this, there's money lying here as well. That's why I put my take profit there, because there's money lying in that area as well. The reason I put my take profit behind it is because I'm going to move my stop loss up behind it. I'm going to let it trail up and let it try and take it out. And I want to make as much profit as I possibly can out of it. But there is also a high there, a high there, a high there, a high there. So that is the point where you want your profit. Okay, so hopefully it'll take that out and it will carry on going to the upside. That's what you're looking for at the end of the day. So yeah, that's when I say there's money lying there. It's either a supply of money or a demand of money. Don't worry about which way it goes. Just think to yourself, there's money lying there. There's big green candles flowing off behind it, above it. There's money there. And if there's big red candles flowing down, there's money there. That's your supply and demand. And then you know your support. You know your resistance. There's money lying there. There's money lying there. Remember, this structure is also money. What it's doing, it's coming down, because it doesn't go down in a straight line. It goes down, goes up, 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 in a squiggly line down, going up as well, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up. But it goes up in a Z, in a squiggly line. So when it comes down, it goes back up, takes some money up here, goes down, goes back up, takes some money up here, goes down. So that's what it keeps on doing. It's going down, going up, going down, going up, going down. So you can actually look at these lines and say, look at that distance. It's almost the same. It's going back up, taking that money. It's going back up. It's taking that money. It's going to go back up. It's going to take that money, and so on and so on. But if you get those measurements right, you can actually pick up, just by looking at the pattern, you can pick up where the money's going to be without having to draw all these little lines in and that sort of thing. This is just basically where the money will be when that price goes back up and looks for money. It's going to find it up there somewhere. 2 red candles like this does not constitute a supply of money. A nice 3 or 4, that gives you a good reason to say, there's some decent money lying in that area. I'll probably go and fetch it. Kevin's in. There we go. Kevin's in on this trade. Perfect, perfect. You see now, if I had 1 million viewers, okay, like other people do, and everybody was on this and I got everyone to buy into this, then I could manipulate the markets. So what we need is more people watching our live shows, don't you think? and as 1 million retail traders, like GameStop, you know, when they moved GameStop around. Get everyone in together and move the markets around. Yeah, that would be great. US dollar CHF, you think it'll start ranging? There's every possibility that it's going to do that, because markets are 50-50 and you just never know what they're going to do. My thoughts are on the US dollar CHF is it's come into support, it's turned around in support, moved to the upside. Not only has it moved to the upside out of the support, it's also broken the trend resistance. It's broken through the trend resistance to the upside. Worst case, it could come back to retest it and then go up, but it's heading on to the upside. Most likely should head up towards these areas here, looking for that supply of money. And if it hits that supply of money, it might just come back. So it might be worth putting the stop loss close by to take the profit. But if it gets all the way to the top, there's going to be a great risk to reward, which would be fantastic if it breaks through that, all depending on how the markets go. For me, I'm not thinking of ranging here. I'm thinking it's going to give us a little bit more upside. All right. This is good setup in. Yes, I fear one YouTuber really does this, but I have no proof. H4 Bollinger Bands. Yeah, Lincoln. Look, you're going to have a serious following to be able to do that. Serious following. I got to tell you. Because the markets are moved by the big institutions, not by us retail traders. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if you do have a really serious following, you could probably make some moves in the market. Probably get something going. Shane, my pet hate is Bollinger Bands. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Bollinger Bands. I've traded them before and they failed me before. I prefer, like I prefer having nothing. And I also prefer, if I'm going to use an indicator, I'll use a Fibonacci or an MACD or something like that, or a stochastic, an RSI, even a moving average. But somebody actually asked me to do a Bollinger Band video and I never did it. I should actually do it. I'm not a big fan of Bollinger Bands. They just don't entice me. It's pretty much like trading with average true range, I suppose. Or VWAP. VWAP kind of is an interesting one, where I've got a video on that as well. The price is magnetized towards the VWAP, but volume weighted average price. I always forget, don't abbreviate, because I hate it as much as everyone else. But no, I'm not a big fan of Bollinger Bands, but if you can trade with them, that's great. I just find that they, on the higher time frames, I don't find them as useful. Maybe on the smaller time frames, on the lower time frames, they're a bit more useful. But on the higher time frames, there just doesn't seem to be that movement that I want. Yeah, if you want to get out of a trade, maybe you can get everyone in to buy. Yeah, that's not the worst idea, eh? Scalping on M5. Yeah, that sounds fair, Shane. I've noticed that the Bollinger Bands tend to work better on the smaller time frames. I noticed that on the smaller time frames, you get a bit of, it's like the average true range as well, or VWAP, works on the smaller time frames. Volume weighted average price will work on the smaller time frames, but on the higher time frames, it tends to be too narrow or doesn't really give you an accurate reading. Or I suppose it's accurate, but it's not easy to use. But if you're trading on 5 minutes and that sort of thing, yeah, then you'll probably be able to use Bollinger Bands in those areas. RSI, you can't go wrong with RSI, Shane. You cannot go wrong with RSI. Relative Strength Index, for those of you who don't know. The RSI will give you fantastic divergence levels, always. And also, it just gives you that overbought, oversold scenario really well. It's probably one of the more accurate indicators around. And it's been around for so long. It's probably one of the longest that's been around. So yes, I'm a big fan of RSI. RSI works well. And I think if you combine RSI with your Bollinger Bands, you might get quite a good picture. That's probably a good idea. I would add RSIs and things like that to these charts. And sometimes I do if I'm just unsure of something, or I'll use it as a confluence or something like that, or even a MACD or whatever the case. But I don't like to have them on my charts all the time because it takes away from my sizing. I prefer to have a little bit of a bigger chart and be able to see what's going on here on a regular basis. So, for example, I'll even take the pricing out. And you see, that's another thing that I do on a regular basis. You see what I just did there? I took all that whole account away. that whole thing. Now you got chart. Guess what? I'm actually not watching my trades. Okay, this one. Okay, all right. But in general, I'm not watching all the trades now. They're not constantly in my eye line going red or green or going up or down because it distracts you. You know, it doesn't matter how much you got traded or what kind of account you got traded or what it is or whatever the case, you always tend to have one eye going into it and checking what it's doing. And that's exactly what Shane said earlier. You find yourself watching your trades and you don't want to be doing that. You know, when I'm doing other things and whatnot, I literally switch all the charts off. I've got 3 screens sitting here that I can look at and a TV, and heaven alone knows I can sit here and I can watch charts till I'm blue in the face if I want to. You know yourself, you can put 200 charts on this page. If you really want to, you can put as many charts on here as you want to. But I don't want to. I don't want that scenario. I used to trade like that with MetaTrader 5 in particular. I used to have like, I don't know, 10 or 15 shares up on this one screen and another 10 on the other screen and more on the other. And I had all these shares all over the place and I was watching them constantly and it's insane. And then I realized years ago that just put the one chart up, do your research, take the trade, walk away, see what happens. You know, that's so much easier and so much less painful. It looks smashing when people walk into your office and they see all these charts all over the walls and they think, ooh, look at that guy, you know, oh, heavy stuff. But in reality, you don't need it. In fact, you could do this from a laptop. You can do it from a mobile phone. You honestly don't need all that stuff, you know. Yeah, I find that traders do that, especially new traders. Fancy equipment, fancy monitors, fancy screens, you know, get all the stuff on because that's what we get addicted to, isn't it? All the fancy stuff. And it's fun. Let's be honest, it's fun. And it costs a lot of money. And you do all that and you don't need it. You honestly don't need it. You know, the amount of times that I've been on holiday or been away and I just take a small laptop with me, a small laptop, and I open it up and I just check my stuff and it's good enough. And 9 times out of 10, I'll just check it on the phone. So yeah, you don't need all that stuff. But you put it here anyway. But my screens are quite old now. They're as old as I am. I'm surprised the one in front of me is still working. Nice big baby. And I don't even join them together like the other guys, you know, the fancy stand and all that. My book does that. He's got them all on a fancy stand. I put one here, one there, one there. You'll see one day. I'll show you. It's such a mess here. I don't want to show you guys. But yeah, it's I don't know why people have to be fancy to trade. You don't, guys. It's a workstation, and it's about work. That's what it's about. It's about trying to work and trying to make money. And the more you concentrate on the business plan, the strategy, making the money, and less about all the fanciness and the squiggly lines and whatnot, then you'll start getting the aha moment. Guess what? You might start making some money. Okay. Shane, FIB is fantastic. It's one of the best products out there. And you know, even with my support and resistance, supply and demand, you'd be surprised how often there's confluence. Now watch this. I'm going to take a FIB and I'm going to draw it down on this. Don't I just hate this? I've got to keep changing the color. You know, otherwise I've got to do it before I do it. Doesn't matter. There you go. Now you can see. Look at the confluence from the FIB here, Shane, because you mentioned you like FIB. I love FIB. I don't use it regularly enough, but if you wanted confluence, you see I drew that supply of money in there. Look where it is. Now you use FIB, so you'll know what it's all about, Shane. You'll know that that's the golden area. You and I both know that's the golden area. That's the area where the money is. That's where it's going to turn around and come back. Look at that. If you ever wanted confluence, that's it. It's telling you when it gets to that area, watch out, man, because it could turn around and come back. Now, what I'll have done by then is I'll have taken the trailing stop and moved it right up here. And I know my take profit's up there, but if it breaks through, bonus. If it doesn't, we're going to end up taking profit in this area because we now can see from our supply of money that that area is important. But now we can even see with FIB that it's even more important than we thought. It's right there in the area. The confluence is there. It's telling you, hey, that's the spot. That's X marks the spot. Let me remove that. So that's amazing, isn't it? Okay, you want simple moving average 21 and 50 on the M5. Okay, Shane, we can do that experiment, but do you mind if we do it next week or Thursday? Sorry, we'll do it on Thursday. Okay, we'll do that experiment. I'm just going to write it down here. SMA 21 and 50. And then we'll do some trading. That's fine. We'll try it out next week. Simple moving average 2150. What I used to use quite often was the 8 or 9 day moving average over the 20-day moving average. That was pretty good for me. But just remember, your moving averages are lagging indicators, eh? That's a lagging indicator. So, but I get what you're trying to experiment with. Let's do an experiment. So let's do that on Thursday. Let's do that experiment. We'll do simple moving average 21 over 50 for you, and we'll see how it goes. 21 over 50 might be a bit slow. I don't know. We'll see. But it's a lagging indicator. Just remember that. I'm 4 foot from my workbench. I missed the fancy train. Sure. Work today on AUF JPY, AUD. And hey, what's else? How's it going? Are you in Australia? Okay. Wow. Just do the experiment, see how it goes. You know, try it out in a few different trades and see how it goes. I'll also try it out and see how it goes. I'll see if it actually works. The 20 over 50, 21 over 50, I think I've used it before in the past, but I think I used it on higher time frames. Tested it out, but it was always lagging. It was always a lagging indicator. Like I say, the one that worked best for me was 8 over 20 or 9 over 20. Yes, it is Australia this weekend, but unfortunately, Kevin, my daughter's getting married, so I'm probably going to miss everything. And Sunday, you know, for me, it's like 5 or 6 in the morning here on Sunday morning to watch the race, and I can't see myself being able to get up after that party because I'm probably going to have to be last to leave. So, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Maybe I should just stay awake. But I'll be in a hotel, so that's the problem. Anyway, yeah. Shane, you got a spare room? Well, no way. No, I can't, as I say. Daughter's wedding this weekend. What's the drawdown like on this trade over 4 hours? It's long now. Best boat from Eastern Canada. Congrats. Okay, I'll try and watch it around looking after the 2 kids. Maybe I'll get a replay. I'll watch a replay. This is laughing at me. You know, did I actually say that? Damn, I hope my daughter doesn't watch this video. Anyway. Yeah, Formula One's important. We enjoy it. And it's the first race of the year. Gee whiz. Goodness me. Maybe one day they're going to bring it back to South Africa. That'll be great. You know, when I was a kid, I used to sneak into Kyalami. Our racetrack was called Kyalami up in Jays. I used to sneak in there, get into the pits and everything. Chief Marshal would look after me and everything. It was great. But I used to like sneak through the gates and all that sort of stuff. Go to the races. It was insane. It was good stuff. Days of Jody Scheckter, even. Yeah, those were the days. Hey, Peter. 6:36 in Florida. Yep, that's pretty early. Pretty early. It's already 20 to 1 here, which is why the Thursday one probably works better for you, Peter, because it'll be a bit later in the day, because I'll start it off past 2, which will be about 8 in the morning for you. And 10:37 in the UK. Yeah, but Kevin, I think you just changed your times, didn't you? Did you? Was it yesterday or the day before? You guys moved your times. Yeah, pretty sure. Mansell's least favorite circuit. But he was a good driver. That was a good driver. You know, these days we see a driver win so many championships, and we think he's the best, but it's a lot to do with the cars, I suppose. In those days, sure, good drivers were good drivers, eh? And you know, it was difficult to win so many championships in a row. And the days of Mansell, Senna, Alain Prost, man, you know, those were drivers. Michael Schumacher, what a driver, you know. Drivers of today, yeah, they're good. Obviously there's a difference between them and their partners and whatnot, but I think the cars play a big part in it these days in comparison. Although they did back then as well, but just I think there's a bigger gap now. Hopefully they get it together. Time moves end of this month. Oh, it's the end of the month. Peter, okay, it was America. Sorry. Yeah, my mistake. Americans, yeah, Florida moved their times. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you guys just changed your time. All right. I knew someone just changed their time. I just confused as to who it was, I suppose. Yeah, but that's too safe nowadays. Yeah, look, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But yeah, the engines don't even blow up these days. You know, in the old days with Formula One, sorry guys, for those of you who don't like Formula One, sorry. I know we're supposed to be talking about trading, but you know. In the old days, I mean, the guys were trying to win and they would blow up their engines and wheels would fall off and all kinds of things. Driving the wheels off the car was a terminology that we still use today. And, you know, that you could see that was going to be a good driver because he was driving so hard he blew up the engine and stuff like that. When do you see an engine blow up these days? Never. Never happens, man. Everything's just too, I don't know. It's just not the same. No, I must say. But still, yeah, it still is what it is. The cars were beasts back then. Yeah, no, totally. That was so good. You know, the one thing I always found, I remember when I was younger, I got into a bit of karting and whatnot. And the one thing that always got to me was the smell of the ethanol, the fuel, when I got to the track. And then you had to like drive this car or whatever. And the smell would actually make me nervous, not the driving. I would actually be like, start shaking. I'm going to drive this now. It was scary. It was the ethanol that drive me nuts. Just that smell. Crazy, man. Crazy. Like I say, I used to sneak into all the races. It was so much fun. And so that's coming back a bit now. Okay, so you see what I've got to do. I've got to sneak in and see if we're still in the green. And yeah, it looks okay. All right. Not too bad, eh? So yeah, on Thursday, for Shane, what we'll do the SMA experiment 21/50. If you can't do it on Thursday, let me know, and we'll do it next Tuesday. That's fine. I don't mind. That's okay. We're running out of time today because I'm going to have to go just now. But yeah, my time went ahead on Saturday. I'm all messed up on times. Yeah, I'm in a very fortunate position where I stay that we don't change our time zones, luckily, because you know our country's pretty small. But living down the south here in Cape Town, all that happens is our sun goes down much later and whatnot. So in winter it goes down at a reasonable 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and summer it goes down at 9 or after. But we don't change our time. I would be near throwing up waiting for the starting flag to form after it went down. I was fun. There you go. It's insane, isn't it? Shane will do Tuesday. Definitely will do Tuesday. 100%. So I'm going to save that over for Tuesday, and then we'll do the full experiment, spend a full bit of time on it and see what it does, okay? Because we're only going to get a few minutes out of it now, and it's just not worth the thing. You're not going to get a good result. So what we'll do on Tuesday, and if I forget, just remind me, Shane, but I doubt I'll forget because I've got it written down here. We'll put the SMA 21 and 50 on, and we'll do an experiment and see how it works, okay? That's fantastic. The time change in the UK is stupid. It would be the same. It should stay the same all year. I kind of agree with you, Kevin. I don't see why they changed the time there. It's insane, you know. You could just, I mean, you'd have daylight till 10 in the evening, whatever. Who cares? I mean, so what? Just stay the same. And I don't see why people are changing it all the time. It's not worth it. Not worth it at all. Okay, guys, I'm going to be on my way now. So let's have a look. What's the trades doing? The trades are, okay, so the US dollar CHF is in profit. The US dollar Canadian dollar is in profit. The CHF JPY is in profit. Not by much, though. I wonder if we're going to get, I hope it moves the right way for the account. That'll be great. And we shall see what happens. I will see you guys on Thursday. On Friday, I am going to shoot off to the wine farm and hotel and everything for my party, but I'll still have a video out for you guys that'll be scheduled, and you'll see that. And I'll speak to you guys on Thursday. So I think enjoy the rest of your trading day and keep your feet on the ground, reach for the sky. That's not my saying. I stole it from someone else, but it's a cool saying. Keep your feet on the ground, reach for the sky. I'll see you guys soon. And thanks for watching. Thanks for being here with us. I hope it helped you guys again. And I hope it does good for your trading. We had a bit of fun with the 5-minute. It was good. It was good. And we're going to do it again next week. We'll do it again on Thursday. And then next week, Tuesday, we're going to do it for Shane. We're going to do the moving average experiment and see how that goes as well. I'll chat to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. And cheers.